Business from the council, begin with Council Member Boomgarden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Couple things. Welcome to our new city manager, Michael Rock. I had my first meeting with the city manager this afternoon, and looking forward to that working relationship. Just an update on the master tax share agreement. That process continues to move forward, and there's a meeting with our consultant that's occurring tomorrow morning, so we'll keep pressing ahead as that's related to the Bogue Stewart master plan. I attended a planning commission meeting last Wednesday, and there was some issues that were raised, and for the benefit of the rest of the council, I did pose a couple questions to both the new city manager and to our city attorney. There was some confusion at the meeting. I'm confident after talking with both the city attorney and the city manager that there's the beginnings of a plan. Parliamentary procedure was an issue. There was a lot of, appeared to be confusion at the dais in regards to motions, amendments, et cetera. I also have made a suggestion, and that there be a planning session or joint session between the Planning Commission and the City Council. We have some significant projects headed our way, Bogue Stewart Master Plan being one, Harder Specific Plan being another, and I think that there could be definitely some benefit in just a workshop understanding expectation, roles, and responsibilities between the Planning Commission and the City Council. Encouraged to hear that the county has hired an Office of Emergency Services Manager. One certainly just needs to take a look at what's happening on the East Coast right now to understand the importance of disaster preparedness. And that was one of the things that I continually feel is an important aspect of this city to keep its eye on. I was encouraged to hear the police chief talk about it in his presentation. Attended the Dancing with Our Stars, and the only reason I want to mention it is because our canine officer, Kenny Souls, participated. I think the mayor participated in that one year, too. Did you win?
Not this year.
Oh, no, last year. Anyway.
I did the second year.
Oh, you did, too. All right. So I guess that just leaves Manny, Dave, and I, right? Anyway.
All three at the same time.
Awesome that...
I didn't win. It's okay.
Awesome thing. Anyway, the stand down, the veteran stand down, that was the first time I actually attended. Very impressive. I guess it's the second largest in the state of California. And I think that's an excellent event. Final thing I'm just going to say is I am so very encouraged by the regional cooperation that's going on right now between Yuba County, Yuba City, Sutter County, Marysville, et cetera. I hope we can continue to embrace that. It's making a difference. You know, some people get a little freaked out about the term regional, but in reality, we are a region, and to work more closely together with our allied agencies, I think, is in the best interest of the city, and I'm really excited about the opportunities for that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Good job. Councilmember Espindola.
Thank you. Welcome, Michael. And you have already proven yourself to help us move through things in a very well thought out manner, so I appreciate that. And we had a very nice showing this afternoon for people to greet you, and then it was lovely to have your wife here also, so thank you so much. One of the issues that as a city and as communities across the nation, I also wanted to talk a little bit about mass shootings and the issues of that occurring across the country. And it was encouraging to see our police doing the active shooter trainings and going to the different churches. And I believe that is an area that our community truly needs to take a closer look at and being prepared, not necessarily, which is encouraging to hear that the county has an emergency preparedness person to help us for natural disaster, but there's also human disasters when, individuals are just violently doing these kinds of things across the nation. And the first school shooting in the nation occurred in Lyndhurst High School, if you're not aware of that. And so to say that we are immune of this issue is, I think, short-sighted in any way, and I'm encouraged to hear that our PD is working towards training our community in that. Also, that we are going to be hiring a police officer, or perhaps assigning or reassigning a police officer helping with our homeless situation based on the data that our chief noted. It's a good thing that we're doing that for our community. And the last thing that was every year that the Yuba City Veterans Stand Down has been held is one of those community things that just hits you right in the heart and in the gut, because you see these individuals, men and women of all ages, this brotherhood, sisterhood. And I've attended for many years, and the first year that I attended, I was there to be as a resource, had a resource table along with many others. But I have to acknowledge that Michael Nichols, who is the person who started along with other volunteers, he was recognized as the 2018 Veteran of the Year by Assemblyman Gallagher, and worthy of the recognition. And also Congressman Garamendi attends every year. And what gave me pride also to be there was that all of us as a council were there together. And I know that Shaw was a veteran, or is a veteran, I should say. Excuse me for the, yeah. And you're still here, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. And Councilman Cardosa, he has been volunteering there for years. He gets there bright and early. He helps set up the whole place. And even though, for those that believe that it's minimal to greet a person and help them in the door, I think that that's a tremendous value that you do for our city, Vice Mayor. And I want to thank you for that, because I see you there and you're directing, you're helping people, you're thousands of veterans. And this year, I think they had over like 1,200 people coming in, and they reduced the number of the days. But I think as a council, maybe perhaps, I don't know if we recognize the Yuba City Veterans Stand Down, but I think that that's something we should do as a council, as a group, and bring in and recognize the volunteers, the board of the volunteers, and do that together. Those are the things that I feel like we're worthy to share with you today, for the 1, 2, 3, 4 people, and the 2 and 5 and video world, and 3 of you are staff. 4. But anyway, thank you, Vice Mayor. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Guess after the last comments, I should start by boo. Because I
still
was
here.
a
You're
veteran,
still
I'm still
here.
here. I will keep mine very, very brief. I attended basically everything that Councilman Boomgarden attended as well, and it's nice to see the city represented across the board. My committees start up again as we're in another month here next week. We have the master tax agreement meeting going on tomorrow morning. Just bring a couple of things quick to mind. We're in rodeo season. Tomorrow is Western Wednesday. The following Wednesday is Western Wednesday. My time has been spent on the back of a horse getting ready for the rodeos. So we're in high rodeo time. So looking forward to that. I do want to go back to the Veteran Stand Down, and it's a tremendous event. This was the first time I really was able to go down and see what's going on, and commend everyone that's involved for that event one time a year. But I just want to remind people, as a veteran, I've learned from other veterans, and it's all the things in between the other 362 days a year that makes a difference in those men and women's lives. And one little simple act of generosity that was taught to me a long time ago that I do now when I'm out is, if I happen to be out to dinner anywhere and I see a veteran sitting over And the ones you're talking about are real easy to see because they got the veterans baseball cap on that's got all the ribbons and it says Vietnam or, Desert Storm or something. You don't need any recognition for it. Just get the waiter or waitress to come over to you and say, hey, bring me their check. Don't tell them who did it. It's paid for. And just pay it forward to them because the sacrifice they made was tremendous. And Mr. Mayor, I like Councilwoman Espindola's recommendation, and I think the appropriate time to recognize them, if you're willing to do it, would be our meeting closest to Veterans Day.
Absolutely. Mr. Cardoza.
Attended a couple of meetings last couple of weeks. Attended the Feather River Air Quality Management District meeting. We got some good news. Within the next 6 months, they will be done hauling out of Paradise. They're down to their final stages. They're down to the last little bit where it's more technical. They've cut down on some trucking, so we got some good word on that. They said within the next 6 months, Paradise will be clean, be done. I also attended the Sutter Community Affordable Housing Board meeting. Just to let everybody know that all of our affordable housing in the communities, it's going to be Sutter County and Colusa. They're all full. Everything's full, and there's a waiting list. So we're working on that. Chamber event, Councilmember Espindola and Shaw, we attended a business after hours for Vignani's Auto Body Shop. He had his 10-year anniversary. So we gave him a little presentation here last Thursday night. Community events, of course, both council members talked about the stand down. And yes, I had the honors of greeting over 1,200 veterans. Shook every one of their hands, wished them, thank them for their service, sent them on their ways where they need proper areas they need to go. I've been doing it now. This will be my 5th year. Totally enjoy it. It's a fun time and get to know a lot of people, meet a lot of veterans, a lot of people. I attended the first Dunkin' Donuts First Northern California Heroes Award ceremony. They gave the award to Awida Wakefield, the founder and executive director of the Yuba City Diabetes Resource Center. So Dunkin' Donuts has started award ceremony in our community. So this is the first year, and they're going onward with that. Yeah, that was and Diabetes Association, they gave donuts and coffee. Thought that was kind of neat. Also attended the reception. Counselor, we attended the reception for Steve Smith, the new Sutter County Administrator. And I attended the Nicholas Parade yesterday. I was in it. There was over 1,000 folks in the community of Nicholas. Had a fun time there. And then last, I'd like to mention this Saturday at the Gap, we are having our Alzheimer's event. So please come down. It's a great turnout. And what do they say in 2025? We're going to have the cure. That's our goal. 2025, we're going to have the cure for Alzheimer's. So I'll be down there volunteering Saturday. So come on down and let's have some fun. There's going to be a walk, and there'll also be some resource folks there also to help. And that's it for me. Thank you.
All right. I can't, even though it's already been mentioned, I cannot not mention the veteran stand down. It was very, very great, big event. A lot of representation. One thing that was encouraging, I mean, Mike is putting so much effort into that, making that, the second largest in the entire state, which is awesome. But he even attracted Congressman Garamendi came and he spoke briefly, and he mentioned, I think it was called the Oath Act, I think it was. When we talk about housing is a big deal everywhere, including here in Yuba City. But one thing was they were talking about leveraging the veterans checks, or their checks that they get, a group of 5 or 6 of them together, which could make a mortgage payment, so they can make build a home for them, and have that be funded that way. So called the Oath Act, and in fact he had to leave there, I think, in order to go down and deal with something in that endeavor. So that's very encouraging to hear that in the works. Hopefully we can bring that here. Very big turnout as always, and not only do you walk amongst heroes, but also friends, all for a good cause and a good thing. And it's really nice to be a part of helping those folks out. I spoke briefly at a Kiwanis luncheon. We talked about essentially worked out the state of the city, and then a bunch of questions, which are always welcome. We are continuing work on our Economic Development Commission, not only the city's one, we're getting ready to add another 2 members. We're supposed to be doing some interviews soon for some applicants. Also, we're partnering with the local Economic Development Commission, along with the Greater Sacramento Economic Council, all coming together with the purpose of developing our economy here locally. How that looks, there's many avenues that we're taking, but it is encouraging to get kind of some focus, gather some valid opinions and perspectives from different people in the community that come from different places, all contribute to the bigger piece of the pie. So we're looking forward to some positive changes there. Want to take an opportunity to also welcome you, Michael. You hit the ground running, that's for sure. Welcoming you and your family to Yuba City. And also on a fun thing, remember anybody who's interested in mentoring a young person, our launch program that the city is helping out in conjunction with Sutter County Schools and Yuba City Unified, still accepting applications. It's a whopping 3 hours a month, an hour and a half at the senior center for mentoring a young person who's been identified as being at risk, and hopefully we can make them make a right turn instead of a left turn. More information on the website, or I can provide that too. Also, we're doing the Mayor's Cup. That's what we're calling it. Brad has put a lot of work into that. This thing here, and I have a flyer. I have a bunch of flyers. Anybody's interested in that? It's pickleball. We're going to do it at our brand new pickleball courts. Teams of 2 people in a tournament. We're asking for a $200 donation, but it's for a good cause. I think it's Dancing with Our Stars is a $5,000 donation, but this is only a whopping $200. And it is going to the Friends of Yuba City Parks and Rec, but also to Casa de Esperanza and the Environmental Alternatives, which is a foster agency here in town. So, a good time for a good cause. It's a win-win no matter what. Our sponsors are Ron and Norma Giovanetti and In&R Trailer Leasing, who were kind enough to help us out with that. So that is on September 13th, beginning at 3 o'clock until 5 p.m. at our pickleball courts. That is basically, it ends right before Sodbusters. So go over there, do your thing, win the tournament, win the perpetual trophy, and then go over and put on your cowboy hat. So we're doing that. Pickleball cowboy hat. I dare you. I dare. Cowboy boots. So, having said that, we are going to adjourn a closed session. Mr. City Attorney, can you please read the closed session items?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have one item for closed session, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D2, one potential case. We do not anticipate any reportable action, and given that it's this late at night, we'll probably adjourn the meeting afterwards outside the council chambers. Thank you.
Very good. I will adjourn. I would unfortunately have we're going to adjourn in memory of Sutter County Supervisor Ron Soldier's daughter Rachel, who recently passed. So in memory of her, we will close this meeting.